It's been 7 years since the release of the original Leviathan and 5 years for the original Katana, and boy have Creative and Razer brought them back in their V2 states. But of course the question remains, amidst the hosts of under-monitor audio systems out there, which of the two V2s are too good to be true? Firstly, I need to set this straight. Razer is at its core a gaming peripherals company, and I personally cannot put them in the same lane as Creative because they're an audio company. So they're definitely on different planes. Just need to get this out of the way. Also that when it comes to audio, I'm just really spoiled. Like honestly spoiled. And not in an audiophile kind of way where I was born with HD 800s on my head, but I have an understanding of it. Also, I'm a gamer.
I'm a gamer. Hello!
The Leviathan V2 isn't bad, but it isn't amazing compared to the Katana V2, and here's why. Comparing prices, the Leviathan V2 costs $250 and the Katana V2 costs $330. Setup for both soundbars are just plug and play, so they even out in that sense. But before we continue on, here's a message from our friends at Logitech.
Here at Geek Culture, we love our keyboards, especially with the all-new Logitech MX Keys Mini. An elegant and functional keyboard, its ultra-responsive rounded keycaps are super stable and quiet for more productivity. There are buttons to enable dictation, microphone audio control, and emojis. The backlit keys illuminate when you get close and matches the lighting of the environment you're in. It lasts up to 10 days on a full charge or 5 months with the backlights turned off. To find out more about the Logitech MX Keys Mini and their latest range of products, head over to logitech.com.
Okay, so connectivity options. The Leviathan V2 loses out on connectivity options with only USB support via USB A to USB-C cable, which means there isn't much to fall back on if your PC has driver issues. In comparison to the original Leviathan, which has aux and optical in options, so I don't understand why Razer would downgrade and upgrade. Sure, there's Bluetooth, but we all know Bluetooth and PCs don't exactly have the best relationship. It does work well with your phone for low latency music playback though, and I haven't had any issues with that yet. We'll have to see how it performs in the long run. However, the Katana V2 on the other hand has all those options in addition to HDMI ARC and Sexify out ports if you're into that. Also a headphone port at the front of the soundbar for easier access compared to the V1, which is at the back. Something both Leviathans have none of. So why would Razer limit the options? I don't know. Simplifying tech is great, but this is a little too much. It takes away a lot of the options the consumer has with the Katana V2, and we like our options. So the Katana V2 wins in this regard. Also, the Leviathan V2 doesn't come with a remote like the Katana V1 and V2, and a lot of original Leviathan owners have been asking for that for quite a while now. Getting into aesthetics, both Katanas and Leviathans are good looking soundbars. I mean, you gotta be honest lah. I like the smaller form factor on the Leviathan V2 and how stylish it is with its grey and black textures compared to the V1, and they come with angled feet, which is a nice touch if you need the extra elevation. The Leviathan V2 in comparison fits snugly under your monitor, and I honestly have no complaints about extra real estate. Then we have Chroma RGB. It doesn't look as impressive compared to the RGB served up by the Katana V2, which diffuses beautifully. Though it needs to be said, you can customize 18 sections of the lighting individually for the Leviathan V2, and both Katanas can't do that. Now, you gotta use Synapse to change the lighting on the Leviathan, but if you want to change the lighting with your phone, you gotta disconnect the Leviathan completely from the PC and to your phone via Bluetooth, and just why? The Creative app on my phone lets you change things up while you're connected to your PC, so we found Razer's way of connection very much bizarre. We'll get into the apps a bit more later on. Okay, so sound quality. With the Leviathan V2, you're getting two 95mm full range drivers, two 20mm tweeters, two passive radiator drivers, and a 144mm subwoofer. The Katana V2 meanwhile has two 63mm mid-range drivers, two 19mm tweeters, and a 165mm subwoofer. And also a mic, which is still impressive that they managed to fit it on there. So to start, the Leviathan V2 is honestly pretty good. It's well balanced, highs are crisp, but surprisingly the bass isn't as punchy as I thought it would be given how Razer likes to tune their audio stuff. But that's also probably in due part because, you know, it's well balanced, so I guess they were going for that. Sound staging is wide and imaging is somewhat detailed. Listening to bands like Toto, Toe, Arts, Tremors and Periphery, guitars and vocals sound crisp and somewhat full, but you're gonna need to play around with the EQ on Synapse to get the drums and bass sounding punchier. Gaming wise, I was playing Apex Legends and I'm able to pick out where the enemies are coming from. Footsteps are detailed and so are gunshots, which makes the Leviathan V2 a pretty fun soundbar to have while playing games. All in all, the Leviathan V2 does the job well whether you're playing music or gaming, and of course it gets loud. I don't find myself going beyond 30% of my volume, so at its most basic usage as an under-monitor audio system, it succeeds in delivering. Especially with THX spatial audio, it adds a little more depth to your music and gameplay. In a way, I do like what Razer has done here. They've made a significant improvement over the original, but of course that's relative to them. Now, not even comparing the Leviathan V2 to the Katana V2, but the Katana V1 sound is a lot more full and warm. Sound staging is much wider and imaging is more precise. The Leviathan V2 sounds very boxed up and flat compared to the Katana V1. I'd say the Leviathan and Katana V2s are on par when it comes to how loud they can go, but the Katana V2 is definitely more detailed in terms of articulation, instruments are more pronounced and full, gunshots and explosions are punchier, while footsteps and imaging are more accurate. Also, turning scout mode on with the Katana V2, which is an EQ of sorts, amps up your entire gaming experience. I'm pretty sure audiophiles out there will get a kick out of listening to this. Now, software. Synapse is, well, Synapse. It's oftentimes jankier than most software out there, but when it works, it works. The interface is very simple. You can switch between stereo and THX. There is a volume bar. You can choose to turn on center focus. You can even assign another audio device and hold down the source button on the Leviathan, which is actually really handy when you want to swap out over to your headphones without having to navigate the Windows interface. Lastly, there's the equalizer, which I've experienced some issues with. Sometimes I cannot get them to switch between the 5 options, but more often than not, I can't for some reason. They'll probably patch it up at some point, but as of now, it's not at its best. I tried the game EQ option and I was just stressed out. Hell, the music EQ option is still the best out of the lot, or just customize your own. The Creative app has a lot more to offer, with EQ options for different games and scenarios, voice modifiers, a decoder, scout mode, and the Sexify option, which you need to download separately. All in all, it's very comprehensive. Back to controlling the Leviathan on your phone, you gotta download 2 separate apps. Yeah, to control both the audio and RGB. But the Creative app is all in one and you can tweak the same exact options on the PC app. Razer is probably working on creating an all-in-one app, but there's no release date yet. And that's another point for the Creative Katana V2. Conclusion! In terms of customization, connectivity options and performance, I would award the points to the Katana series, and I think many of y'all out there would choose it over the Leviathans despite its bigger price tag. Again, it should be noted that Creative is an audio company, so this is their playing field that Razer's on. If Razer added that aux port, I honestly would not mind getting it because it actually is a decent soundbar. But of course, it restricts you to your PC. If you don't mind the lack of connectivity options, the Leviathan works well enough for the casual gamer and listener. Of course, not all of you out there would agree with me since this is all based on my personal experience with both products. So if you all have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Follow us on all our socials, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to us. We've got tons of videos coming your way. This is Zinho and I'm gonna go blast the shit out of them.